We're live. One more time. We're trying. Must not have a good signal for some reason here at the house. Give y'all a little bit, see who's going to come in the house with me today. I don't know if anybody will. They might. Anybody in the house? Hello, hello, hello. Hello, if you're in the house, give me a thumbs up. Hello. I'm seeing two people. Somebody say hello. Type in hello or something. Oh, don't tell me that. Not seeing chat again today. Oh, there you are. What's up, Richard? I didn't know if I was going to see chat today or not. I done tried 3 times to go in live, and it kept knocking me off. There's Jimmy. We're not on the water today. I figured I'd do a little tackle talk. A little short live. Try to bring y'all in. Discuss some of the things that I do, I don't do. I try. My fails. Get y'all's input. Hey, Virginia. And just a little, I guess, a little BS throwing around and talk a little catfish, talk a little junk. So I hope y'all all having a good day. It's a little warm one today, so I'm sitting out here. You probably hear a fan in the background. But without it, I'd be a sweat ball. Sitting out here in the carport at the house. Yeah, I'd like to be out on the boat, but I think I'm going to have to start doing some night fishing again for right now. What's up, Justin? We're going to call this Patriot Catfishers Tackle Talk. We're going to see how this works out. If y'all enjoyed it, it might be something I do about once a week. Just to try to go over a few things and get some discussion from y'all and everybody else. You're working, I hear you. But I hope you're having a good day at work. Probably a tough day, but it might be a good day. I'm going to see how many actually come in here. I didn't know in the middle of the day if I'd get anybody in here or not. I got a few things that I want to show you, a few things that I'm getting ready to change my rods over to. The other day when I was out, I lost a good bit of tackle, and early morning leg quality. Yeah, I've seen that, Richard. I run up there and marked a lot of fish. I was down south, and I caught that one blue, but they was tough biting. I was there early. Never did find the perch. I looked all over. I never did locate the perch. I guess I'm gonna have to put out down there at daggum buster board and look in that area for the perch. I had some brim, but caught that one blue, and that was it. That was it. And I tried a couple places in that area, and right there at Mills Creek, and I never could find a perch. Couldn't round up no more bites. Marked some good fish, and even drug from the back of Mills, not all the way in the very back of Mills Creek. Started right there next to the bridge and drug out to the mouth of the lake, and never did round nothing else back up. Well, if they were, I run over top of them and missed them because I come through there first. I put out at South Point and come down through there, and I looked across the points and all. And I mean, I could have missed them because the week before that, they was all over Mills Creek. So I don't know what it's they easy to catch and hard to find. Yeah, that's a long haul for me too, buddy. I mean, it's 45 minutes from the house to the lake, and then a good little ride from if I put out at South Point. But I guess I'm gonna start putting out down at Buster Board. I just like South Point area. But I guess right now during the summertime, that's a tough time. Sorry, I got lines hanging from the stuff that got broke off. All right, I'll do that, Richard. I'll do that. I'll put out down there at the Buster Board Bridge at the old Hungry Fisherman, or T-Bones by the lake now. And that's just an area I've never fished. I fished a couple times off some old friends of mine I used to have down off their docks, but that was it. How you doing, girl? One of my granddaughter's little friends just come on there. I called her Fruit Loop. She was out on the boat with us a couple of weeks ago when they was down visiting. Sweet girl, very smart. And she's in there with us today, so let's make sure we keep this PG. But I figured I'd do a little tackle talk. I got a little bored, jerked my stuff off, and I figured I'm gonna have to take my rods and put new weights and all that stuff on there. And hey, J&C, doing a little tackle talk today and see how people like it. If they do, Patriot Tackle Talk, and if y'all like it, might be something we do every so often, once a month or so, and do a little update on what's going on with the channel. I did just start up my Instagram. It's to find me, it'd be Patriot Catfishers 1. Yes, we do, girl. Yes, we do. And it usually is. There's usually never no cussing or nothing on here. And we got a bunch of gentlemen on here and a lot of ladies that come on. And so, anyway, I lost a lot of tackle the other day. Yeah, that would be sweet if they get into the fall pattern. That's when I actually started fishing last year, was in the fall. And luckily, my second trip out there, I put that 28. Yep, Instagram. I put that 28 in the boat, which really surprised me because I had just got started back. But I used to fish many years ago. And I fished heavy, but that lake only had channel cats in there. But I always targeted big channels. So I threw big baits. I done a lot of free lining then with big brim heads and nothing but a hook. And I haven't done much free lining since I've got back fishing again. But still, a lot of the places that I targeted then, I'm targeting now. That the blues and the flatheads are in Lake Wiley. So I figured if I was targeting big channels back then, maybe some of the flatheads and blues use the same area. I don't know. But so far, I've been lucky. I've put some pretty good fish in the boat. You know, whether I ever beat that 44 or not, or that 34 flathead, that's, you know, yet to be seen. Might not the rest of my life. But that's okay. We're still out there fishing and enjoying ourselves. But the other day, I lost a good bit of tackle. A lot of my demon dragons, fake demon dragons. So when I was getting ready to have to remake up some of my rod and reels, I throw Ambassador 6000s. It's the red ones. I like them. I got a good deal on them. Actually, I bought 3 of them at Bass Shack. They were used. Great reels. I got them spooled up with 30-pound trilene big game. But when I had bought my Whisker Seekers reels, I went ahead and bought me a spool of their line. Now, it ain't but 500 yards, so mainly what I'm using this for is my leaders and stuff like that right now. And, what's up, Junkie Cat? El Stan. Come on in the house, doing a little tackle talk. But I want to show you, I make my dragon weights. A lot of people use, I guess, paracord, pull the inside out of paracord. They use it that tennis shoe strings. They'll open them up and stretch them out and do that. Well, This is the inside of that as seen on TV flex hose. You know, the one that supposedly stretches out when you turn it on. Well, I hadn't seen one yet that'll last a full summer. My mother-in-law, she'll buy them ever so often, and they'll sit out there in the sun, and then they pop. Well, I get the inside out of them, and the inside ain't nothing but surgical tubing. Stretchy surgical tubing. Well, I figured, well, I put me a lot of lead shot in there. Hello, Passion. Come on in the house. And, yep, we at the house, not in the boat today. Trying a little tackle talk, and I see what y'all think about some of this stuff that I do. So what I do is take some lead shot, and what I did, I had some old ankle weights. Guess what's in ankle weights? Guess what's in ankle weights? Slam full of little old lead shot. So I got a little bitty funnel. I stick in the end of it. But first what I do is I take, here's the tubing. You see it's old stretchy tubing. What's up, Ryan? It glues real easy with super glue. If you don't use this, what I'm getting ready to show you, all you got to do is take and shoot you a little bit of super glue up in the end of it, squeeze it, and hold it for about 15 seconds, and it's glued shut. And you can poke you a hole through it and hook you a swivel in there. I got a swivel somewhere. Hold on a second. Just stick you a swivel through it, glue the other end shut, and you actually got a drifting weight. But what I do, that's an AK-47 shell. Just an empty shell, done been shot. I drop a little bit of them shells in there, and it's got a little bit of a rattle to it. Now, whether it can be heard or not underwater, who knows? But it's worth trying. So, plus it puts a stopper in the end of it. And in the other end, just plain old wire nuts. And, hold up. I'll take a wire nut. One of these little eye screws. The orange wire nuts are perfect size. And I'll open this up and put a barrel swivel in it. Or you can, if you don't want to use a barrel swivel, you can just take a regular old clasp swivel, open it up, stick it on there, close it back up, and you just take this little thing and it'll screw right in there and it'll lock down tight. And there's the head of, let me cut a short piece off of this so I can show you. Little piece of that tubing, and you take and put you a little bit of super glue on that, and you slide that right in there. I don't have it all the way yet, but the super glue will make it a little slick so it'll slide up in there further. You glue it in, and that's your top. All right, I'm gonna show you how I rig it, and this is the way I'm rigging it today. I was just letting it slide on the line and put a bead on there, but I did get me some sinker slides. And these sinker slides ain't the high dollar ones or the ones I seen them advertising on Catfish Weekly. These are the ones I got up there at Bass Shack I've got here in North Carolina. I put one of them on my line first, and I got me some beads. And these beads is actually real cheap. You don't have to go out and buy them high dollar beads. You can go to the dollar store, go down to the kids section, where they got a whole bunch of them little old cheap pearl necklaces. And you take in little cheap pearl necklaces and you break them, and you pull off all them little old plastic beads that's already got a hole in them, and they work perfect on the line. What's up, Jordan? I try all kind of junk, buddy. Some things fail, some things work. All you can do is try. And then I got my bead on there, my barrel swivel, and I don't know what kind of knot y'all tie. I know some Some people tie that easy knot. You slide it through there. Oop, I'm sorry. You double it, slide it. I forget what they call this knot. Tie it like that. Pull it through. I think that's a clinch knot. I ain't sure what that's called. I don't remember the names of these knots, but that's a quick, easy knot to tie first. And it's strong. It don't give. And then I make my leader. And I'm going to make my leader out of this Whisker Seeker line. If any of you's ever used this line, how about letting, speaking up. All right, Justin, be safe out there, buddy. We appreciate you coming in the house. What's up, Scotty? I didn't see you come in, bud. Sorry about that. I'm sitting here trying to not knock stuff off the table. But if any of you use the Whisker Seeker line, let me know if it's any good or not. I'm using it mainly for leader lines right now. I got enough to maybe fill up one or two of my rods, but and try it. Just snuck in, okay? All right, made me a leader. And I tie the uni knot. I don't know if any of you's ever used the uni knot. Uni knot is a very simple knot that is very, very strong. It's a knot that most people, when they tie in two lines together, they use a double uni. A lot of saltwater fishermen use the uni knot. But what you do, you pull it through, like I got through the eye, like that. Double it over and make you a loop. I hope you can see that. Make your loop, and then you just take your tag in, you go around. I go 7 times in through that. This knot you can do in the dark with your eyes shut or whatever. I've done it for years. I've used it for bass fishing, brim fishing, all the way up to catfishing and saltwater fishing. And then you pull it tight. And if you need a knot to leave a loop on your line, you pull it tight first by your tag end, and it will lock down on your line and leave you a loop, and it will not slip. And that is the uni knot. Look it up, learn how to tie it. That's a very easy knot to learn to tie. And since I lost I broke off four things the other day, and I lost 4 of my fake demon dragons. Well, when I say fake demon dragons, these are the ones we ordered from China. You see them in a plastic bag. They come with little eyes or whatever. And I don't have any more painted. And if you don't paint them, you see what happens? They get water in them. These 2 right here are worthless. They're full of water. They're no good. But I got some more. I've got to paint them. So I've only got one that I painted, and I dip it in Rust-Oleum oil-based paint. It's tough paint. It won't come off. And I dip it and let it dry. And you see, I like just plain white. And if I was fishing mainly at night, I would be throwing black ones. I got some downstairs that I actually dipped them in some Rust-Oleum black paint. But something was wrong with my paint. It won't get hard. So I'm going to have to dip it down in some paint thinner or something and wipe all of it off. It just won't get hard. It's staying tacky, and they've been painted for over a month. So anyway, fake demon dragon. I put it through the tail and bring it out yeah, I do that. A lot of people say that's backwards. I don't. I put the eyes towards the bait. That's the skinnier end, and I'm hoping that skinnier end will help jump up over anything that's coming through there. And I just slide it on, and when I get to work, when I decide what length I'm going to run this, I do too. I do too. That live bait shaking it, or if you're in current. But if you're in too much current, then you're going to lose. It's going to lose its advantage for sound. But when I get through, whenever I decide where I'm going to put it, I can go ahead and do it now. It don't matter. Electrical duct. I mean, just plain old black tape. If I can find the end. And I just take and run me a strip of black tape around it. Pull it tight. And that keeps just enough tension on there. You can slide it wherever you want. It don't mess with the line. And you're set to go. And the other tackle thing that I do use is the Gamakatsu. And these are 8/0. I've been trying to find the 10/0. I got my tackle place trying to get me the 10/0. That's what I like throwing is the 10/0. But the 8 are perfect too. But when you got a real big bait, I don't know. I just like a bigger hook when I'm throwing the real big baits. But see, y'all just let me mess up here and not tie my hook first. Yep, you got that right, buddy. I think I give, for 20 of these, I think I give $12. And then a couple dollars, no, we got them through Amazon, but they had to come from China. So it took about 2.5 weeks to get them. Now, I can't believe y'all just let me tie all this on here. I'll have to look it up tonight, Jimmy. Do you have a Facebook? If you do, go on my... What's up, PD? We doing a little tackle talk. I can't believe I just done that. Yep, it goes on later. And if you're gonna do... and I always do... go on Patriot Catfishers of America on Facebook, and I'll go on there later and try to get the wife to find the link. She was the one that found the link for them and ordered it. And I'll put the link on there. But y'all let me tie that thing on that swivel before I put my hook on there. And you know good and well, if you're gonna do a proper tie on a circle hook, you got to do it first. All right. Whatever this cotton picking knot is what everybody seems like they like to use on circle hooks. Well, you know how y'all wrap it around it and run it back through it. Come on, guys. I'm brain dead today. I can't think. Yeah, I got 2 brain cells. One brain cell chasing the other one, trying to figure out what we're going to do next. That's what the wife tells me. All right. Anyway, snailed hook. Thank you, Jordan. Yeah, I figured a couple of our brain cells get together, we'll get this right. I sound like a rookie out here. Well, I am a rookie. Y'all watching me learn. Y'all watching me get better as I go. Some new things that I've got to learn when it comes to catfishing. But anyway, I got the hook snailed. I don't try none of that fancy snelling or nothing. I do a basic snail. And we're going to put this back on this line. And on the next ones, since I don't have no more of these painted, I'm going to put just the slip floats on there. There you go. Teamwork, buddy. Ain't nothing no better than teamwork. Ain't nothing no better than teamwork in America. Let me start this off, and I can't believe I got this far in there without saying God bless America, and let us always remember those that sacrificed it all for us to be able to sit and do what we're doing right here today. And if any of you on here are veterans, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. Me and my whole family. Most of my family were veterans. A lot of them fought. Some died. But for us to be able to come in here and do this. And I'm tying the uni knot again on my line. And see, you can actually pull that knot tight. Right there, I didn't pull it all the way tight. But if you pull that knot tight, it will lock down and leave that loop if you need the loop in there. behind the pig float. What's a pig float? But anyway, I pull it all the way up and lock it down. You mean the peg float? Peg float is what I guess they call them Santee River or Santee rigs. Let me put my black tape back on here. Yeah, it's a Santee rig. It supposedly floats your bait up off the bottom. I mean, I guess if you're using a 1 pound piece of bait on there, I don't know if it'll float it up or not. But I did notice, and I will let y'all know on this, on my old bass rod I've got, I freeline with it, and I figured I would try something. And if I put a big, just the fake Demon Dragon, now the real Demon Dragons might be different, because they are a harder plastic, they are a thinner plastic, so they do have a bigger air chamber. But these right here, with a big brim head, will not float that up off the bottom. It has it buoyant, a lot more buoyant without it, but it will not, what I say, suspend it up. These will. The 4 inchers. I think these are 3 inches. So, yeah, it's the Santee, for the Santee rig. All right. I tied a long leader for that one. I usually don't tie my leaders that long, but maybe that's what I need to tie. Anyway, we got our hook, our Demon Dragon, about a 2.5 foot leader, which normally I run about 16 inches. My barrel swivel, my bead, and my sinker slide. Okay. On that sinker slide, since this is my tall, yep, that's my real long rod, I'm gonna put, I don't know if you can hear it or not, the rattle in it. The AK-47 rattle, that's what I'm gonna call my rattle. I open up my sinker slide, put it right on there, and now I might have to step up away from the camera. Sinker slide. I'm sorry, I got a daggum mess here. Lines hanging everywhere. Now I actually have, this will walk down and through the water and hopefully help me come up over some ledges with this without getting hung up. Because I really got tore out the frame when that 4th rod got broke off. That was just that's a lot of money when you counting. I had no roll sinkers, hooks, barrel swivels and all. I really hate to watch that go down the drain into the bottom of the lake. But it happens. I mean, I know it happens, but it still don't mean you like it. Hold on just a second. Let me put this on my reel. I'll be right with you. But if we're doing tackle talk, I'm gonna show you what I've got here. I'm gonna hook this right here. This is my rods, not no high dollar rods. It's called Old Whisker, oop, I'm sorry. These are 8 foots. Old Whisker Catfish System. Nice backwards to y'all, sorry about that. Now who makes this? I don't have a clue. But it says this is 9 foot 2 piece, which I glue them together. I got Ambassador 6000s. I enjoy these reels. They cast like a dream. They ain't as much as the 6500 C3s, and there's still a lot of them around. And there's still a lot of parts to get them fixed. So that's what I throw, and then I got a 5000 that I've had for years, back when I bass fish a whole lot and done some catfishing too. And then I've got, you know, spinning reels and stuff like that. But this is my main my mainstay for catfishing. Any of you got any questions? But yeah, the peg float, I use the peg float in place of where the Demon Dragon's at. You just add a peg float, and that'll take it up off the bottom. And it just keeps your bait off the bottom and out of the mud. What's going on, Joe Buck? In here just doing a little tackle talk. Just a little tackle talk. So what do you think about the daggum AK rattles? Hold on just a second. Y'all got any questions on what I've talked about so far, or anything y'all want to add, or if you think it might be a pretty cool thing to buy once a week or once every twice a month or something like that to do a little tackle talk, then let me know. But anyway, that's how I make my drifting weights. You out of them old cheap hose pipes, so if you see anybody got a hose pipe like that hanging outside, you know it's done popped. Before they throw it away, grab it and pull the guts out of the inside, and then you can get 50 foot of stretchy hose that you can actually use for all kind of things. I use it to tie down things with, that you just need something quick, like going down the... No, my favorite bait would be, it's hard to say, I love brim. I love brim heads. That was my mainstay for many a year. That makes sense, Jordan. That makes sense. If I'm going to do that, I might actually go with a balloon. I seen Larry Moose talking with Steve Douglas, and he uses the walking sticks. He makes long ones too, and he'll use a balloon on there and just barely blows it up about the size of an egg. He said if you blow it up much more than that, it'll float your whole system up. It don't matter what size you have in there, especially in current. He said he's had a lot better hookup ratios using a balloon. To me, I thought the hook could pop it. He said, but with the balloon just no bigger than a golf ball, it's soft. If fish hit it or whatever, they don't think nothing about it because everything in the water's got that soft, spongy feel anyway. And you can go by the dollar store and buy a bag full of balloons for $1, and you're ready to go, and it actually gives you more flotation. But I did see Dieter a couple times running back-to-back 2 floats when he was throwing real big baits. So, I don't know, when I first started doing it, I seen him doing this with the Santee rig, and I had never thrown the Santee rigs before. And I tried it, and I kept getting hung up. And that aggravated me, and that's one of the reasons I don't have no more of these on my lines right now, is I was trying to figure out how I can keep from getting, it's like these things are so light, when I was casting them or whatever, I could not keep that cotton picking thing from getting twisted. I don't know if any of y'all have that problem or not, but it drove me crazy. And I don't know why. I really don't. I don't know why it was getting twisted. And I asked Dieter, and he said, oh, I don't get twisted up. I thought, man, how's he not doing it and I'm getting twisted up? I got to be doing something wrong. And that's why I'm coming on here talking with y'all. Maybe you could give me a little bit better idea on how to do something, or that's what we all got on here to do, is learn. YouTube is the best place to learn stuff from. So what's some of the techniques y'all use? I mean, I throw a Carolina rig, just a no-roll sinker. I use 3 ounce with a bead and a barrel swivel, and I've got them placed in order. But I also use the line rattles. I like these line rattles. They make a lot of noise. They'll float up and down the line or whatever, and then another 8-aught Gamakatsu's. That's really my mainstay on what I throw. I do throw floats. And the other day I actually tried one of my planer boards, and it actually worked a lot better than I thought it would, because the first time I used them, it was real windy that day. Ooh, excuse me. I had never used them before, and the wind blew my boat in a circle, and I had a twisted up mess. I hear you. That'll work. And I've never picked the dadgum things back up again. Yeah, I'm just now starting to use the sinker slides on. I guess I'm gonna have to start using them when I'm using my walking baits or walking sticks or drift rigs or whatever they call them. It makes it a lot easier. I mean, you can actually, with that barrel swivel in it, you see how I've got the barrel swivel on the little eye hook in there. You could run your line right straight through it, just like that, and it wouldn't hurt a thing. Put a bead on there. I'm just using the sinker slides because I have them. I got them sinker slides when I started making my bobbers. Hold on one second, I'll go grab a bobber and my planer board so I can show you that too. I'm back. Sorry about that. It was still on the boat. It was still on the boat. Y'all still in here with me, I hope. Yep, when I hook my brim heads or my perch head, which now I'm trying to find perch, I hook them straight underneath the chin and straight out between the nostrils, or up next to between the eyes. That's my mainstay. That way you never have to worry about your hook twisting back into your bait. Never. I've never had a hook twist back into my bait. No matter how hard they hit it, if it don't get caught, that is there. I lost it the night I caught that 44. My grandpa's reel got hammered right after I went off. Well, I was still alive. Y'all seen it. It drug it down and started peeling drag and then was gone. I reeled it up, and that hook had rolled back into that bait. Because I had a hand-sized chunk of bait on there. I should have double hooked it. But it had rolled the hook back in there, and that catfish was peeling drag without even touching the hook. He had nothing but bait in his mouth. That was one hungry fish, and I missed him. That might have been the fish of a lifetime for me on my grandpa's rig. But, you know, hey, that's fishing. So, bobbers. The same bobber stops, yeah, these things right here. You see, I pinched the end down on them, where you can slide them on and off your line at will. And what I done, I just took a clothes hanger, folded bit it in one end, run it through there, put this sinker slide into it after I bent it, pull it through the other side, squeeze it down, bend it over, and lock it in. These are the glow sticks you can stick on there. Or I'm gonna figure out a way to put the whisker sticks in it, and so you can fish them at night. But these are my catfish floats. I can probably cut them in half and have plenty of flotation. But I throw big weight, so I didn't know how much I would have to have. But that trick right there, the only thing that you have to do is when you're tying up this rig here, is put one extra bead on your line, and put a bead above your weight, the one below it, of course, at the barrel swivel. Put one bead above that weight, and then put you a bobber stop on your line, which you can go on YouTube and it shows you how to tie your own bobber stops. And then all you got to do, you can take this on and off. It don't have to stay on there. You don't have a sinker slide always on your line. If you want to throw the no-roll sinkers like that, then you don't have to worry about this sinker slide staying on your line all the time. You can just take it on and off. And all I do is just pinch that end. Just pinch that end right there down to where it's just close enough that your line pops through it, but yet it's a gap big enough that your line slides up and down through it. All right, that's the Patriot bobber for you. All right. I seen all... What's up, Jeff Dunn? What's going on? We're doing a little tackle talk today. Figured I'd try it out and see how it works out. Might do this about once a month or something. Got 4 people in there, had a bunch jump off, but that's okay. I didn't know if anybody would be in there today or not. Of course, you never know with YouTube. They might be more than that, and they just ain't letting me know. But I made me some planer boards. These are you up in my neck of the woods, Jeff Dunn. It's where I live over here in Kings Mountain. Live out in the middle of the woods. But what I done, this is pipe insulation. And you know them old, it's like a spring-loaded thing, but I don't know what this is actually was ever used for. It's a spring, it's a flexible piece that like you're supposed to be able to reach down and pick up a nut or a bolt. It's got a little old grabber that runs through the middle of it. It's got a little red button on the end. I don't know what it was for or what they used it for, if they have to reach inside a motor to get something, or I don't have a clue. But I cut it and I made it because it was a flexible piece. Because I'd like a regular one, I'd probably bend, break, or whatever. I put a little old swivel on there, little gator clip, drill me a hole in it, and then I put just some little plastic tubing over the teeth. Another key ring on there with a swivel, just a barrel swivel with a clip on it. And I tried this the other day. I'm sorry. This piece right here is plastic. This is the one I tried the other day. And you see it's kind of concaved. Well, at Walmart and all these hardware stores, they sell these things that's got a foam pad on this that you're supposed to set your furniture on. You can slide your furniture across the floor. Well, my mother-in-law had bought 100 of these. Well, it wasn't 100. She bought a bunch of them for no reason, and I got them. They was going to be thrown away, so I pulled that old black sponge out of it, and I thought, that's a tough enough, flexible enough plastic, I won't break it. I like that concave edge because that'll help catch that current a lot quicker. And buddy, when I dropped that out in the water, it said, shh, it took off real quick. And that's all that is. I glued it with a little bit of hot glue. You can't put much on there. And then I went back and shot E6000 adhesive. You can get that at Walmart in a tube. It's called E6000. It's also waterproof. Keep a tube on your boat or in your tackle box. It is waterproof glue. It don't act real fast. It sets up in about 24 hours, but it is waterproof if you need to seal up anything. But that's one of the planer boards I made. And I try to work with what I got around the house. just, yeah, I could go buy them, but until I figure out if I'm going to like it or use it, then I'm going to make something that might work a couple times to give me the idea if that's what I want to use. So I'm always fabricating and making things. This is just a little piece of aluminum that I had. I don't remember exactly what it was. Oh, it was aluminum cookie sheet. Has this little edge on it. This is one of the other ones I tried the first time I was out, and they went out real good too. And that's just that old blue foam. I'm just learning to use them, buddy. I want to learn to use them. I think it's a great idea. Zach Royce here from North Carolina actually used planter boards and has great success. Dieter catches quite a few fish on the planter boards. It makes sense. It gets your baits out where actually you have a wider spread of baits in the water, so you actually cover more water. So I like the idea. I'm going to force myself to get used to using them. The downside is I'm on a pontoon boat, and working a pontoon boat and the wind gets really tough. I'm sure they do, Richard. Yeah, it totally makes sense to me. It really does. I mean, you see a lot of saltwater rigs. I seen a pontoon boat out there the other day on Wiley that has the outriggers. And instead of running planer boards, he's got these big old long poles that stick out beside his boat and got clips on them. And he was actually pulling like 3 lines off that one side and 3 lines off the other side, not counting the rods that was on his boat going out. So he had a big swath of water he was covering as he was trolling down through there. Excuse me. Didn't sleep good last night. But a pontoon's aggravating in the wind, boy. And I have an old cheap trolling motor. If I had a spot-lock trolling motor, it'd make it a little bit easier. But if the wind catches the back end of that pontoon, it'll swivel you around, and pulling planer boards, you don't need that swiveling around. And plus, I'm fishing off the front of the boat. Now, I'm getting ready. I'll make a video. I've been fishing off the Wise pontoon. Ooh, excuse me. Excuse me. Hello, Enduring Patriot. I love the pontoon. I really do. But I've been fishing off the Wise pontoon boat. But I have one that I had bought. I got cheap. It's needing a lot of work. The seats and stuff are shot in it, which is fine with me. I knew that when I bought it. And I'm going to chunk them. I'm just going to make an open catfishing platform out of it. UPS showing up. And when I start on that boat, I'll make a video and show y'all the progress of the real Patriot Cat pontoon boat. And I'll probably look for me actually a better trolling motor when I get started on it. Yeah, I've tried to troll backwards, and that's like the first time you ever try to back a car. I look like a fish going down the cotton picking water. I cannot get it to control it unless I get a better trolling motor. Excuse me 1 minute. UPS man's here. I'll be right back with you. Sorry about that, people. Mama had some package. Wife had some packages coming in for her little row business. Oh. Yeah, I always wonder why they don't make a trolling motor. They make a trolling motor that actually mounts onto your motor itself. I think they use it for a lot of walleye fishing. But you steer it with your steering column, you know, by turning your motor on your boat. But if they make a tall enough trolling motor that you could actually just hit a button, the trolling motor come up out of the water and stick straight up behind the pontoon boat, hit a button and drop it down and be able to operate it like that, I think that would be sweet. Yep, that's exactly what they do. Them things are pretty expensive too, but they ain't as expensive as the daggum iPilot or what they call it. But I think if you had one of the iPilots or whatever they call them, it would be able to compensate for that pontoon. I don't know that for sure. I've never used one, never been on a boat with one. But you would think with the technology that went into that, it should be able to compensate with the wiggle of the wind. Now, it'd be working its tail off to do it. Now, it'd probably drain a battery a lot faster. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do, strip it all the way down. I'm going to have to jerk the carburetors off of it. I'm probably just going to take it up here and let the other guys do it for me. I'm not even going to mess with it. I actually did get it fired up. I got the parts for it, new starters, new switch, tune-up, water pump, and all for it. But I did get it to fire up, but it won't run with the gas. So the guy told me that the carburetors are probably stopped up. I just sprayed a little bit of ether in there, and it did fire. And it did run and pump water through it at the time. So I wasn't going to run it long like that. I didn't want to mess it up. Yeah, and just my last two live feeds was I able to drift because there was no wind. And, you know, when the breeze got up a little bit, it did aggravate me a little bit, but I was still able to stay on track. I just point that trolling motor in one direction and let it pull me that way. And if I come up across shallows, I did. You know, I let it basically take me back and forth across the mouth of that creek coming into the main lake, or I come out of that creek up to the main part of the lake, and I just pointed it in the direction I wanted to go, and I didn't have no wind to fight me. And I love anchoring, I do, but dang, pulling that anchor kills me. Buddy, I've had 7 back surgeries. Pulling an anchor is murder. And a couple months ago, I pulled anchor 7 times that day. I worked hard. Trying to stay on the fish, and I was doing pretty good, but that was murder. It was all I could do to walk the next couple days. It played havoc on me. So if I can learn to troll, then that's what I'm going to do. And I've seen this one thing for 4 pontoon boats where you actually mount the trolling motor in the middle of the boat, or right in front of, say if you got a center console, right in front right there. And they just able to pull the trolling motor straight up from underneath, you know, in the center of the floor. There's a box that mounts in the middle of the floor. It looks like it had some kind of bearing or some kind of bushing or something that went on it. And it slides up and down in the middle of the pontoon. That might work better. Jimmy, that'd be nice. Most of the time I'm by myself. Yeah, that would be sweet until you get that rascal hung up and it pulls the nose of your boat downward. What kind of anchors y'all guys use? I'm going to have to build me 2 more anchors because I lost my last good anchor. And them hurricane anchors, that's a lot of money to... I am so sorry. A rough night. Yeah, my last good anchor, I got hung in the bottom of the Wiley, and I guess I hung it up in some rocks or whatever. It set good, and then I had one of them big old giant boats swing over next to me and really rock my boat. Yep, you're right. You're right. And that comes down to location. What's going on, Josh Green? We have a little tackle talk here. Just went over some riggings that I'm using, that I'm trying, some different things that I've made and tried. Some failed, some success. Yeah, I can weld. There's a steel place that has, you can buy used old steel and stuff from them, not far from the house. And that's where I'm going to go. And I could probably build an anchor like the Hurricane anchors. I've got the tools and the welder and stuff to do it. I just didn't know if y'all had success with a different style of anchor, or if that's really the best style of anchor to try to use. What's up, Kentucky? But Jordan, I enjoyed it. I thank you for coming in the house with me. We'll do this again and see how it works out. And maybe I'll get some few things out here and we'll make up some of these walking weights, or I'll figure out the AK weights is what I'm gonna call them. We'll make up a few bobbers and maybe make up a couple more of planer boards while we have you on here. Had a hard time keeping what straight, Jeff? Your boat? Or you bending your anchor? You remember when the night I caught that big catfish? That's a slip hook. Your anchor. Yeah. Did you make your anchor, Jeff? That's what I'm trying to curious about, is what size steel I need to get for my blades off the steel center. You know, you got one steel center, and then you got blades that come off to the sides. Do I need to get a harder steel? And I think, you know, Steve Douglas makes an anchor, and I think he makes his anchor where it can bend. It takes a lot, but I think he makes it just in case you do get it hung. Okay. I don't know. I'll look at the metals they got up there and maybe find a little bit harder metal. Maybe the metal legs off your sides are too soft. Or is it rebar? The last one I had was rebar. And it would catch good to an extent. But I think them wider blades that help bite in that mucky, muddy, just, especially like if you're in a mussel bed. Yeah, you're right, Jeff. Yeah, you probably do need a couple good of them Hurricane anchors. Because I've seen them, they anchor them things out in the middle of the daggum Mississippi River, the Ohio River, Tennessee River, and all that current, and them boats just boom. Which is different than a lake. In the lake, we got them old muddy bottoms, and it's hard to anchor in a daggum lake without, you're going to get some swivel. I've thrown, I don't know how many freaking anchors. God, excuse me, people. And you just can't get that out of it. I don't care. You'd have to throw 4 anchors, one off each corner, to get that rascal to anchor up where it won't move. And then you're going to have somebody swing over there close to you and swamp you. pull an anchor loose or whatever. So, but I'm learning. Been a long time since I was able to fish like I'm fishing here lately. So I'm still learning my home water all over again. Used to, when I bass fished and catfished all the time, I could tell you what, when, who, where, and how. Not no more. So I've still got a lot to learn, a lot of places that I'm learning to try. I'm getting ready to start moving more south during the summer. It seems like the hotter it gets, the later the summer gets, the further south you need to work. It's like the fish up north lock up and they just won't bite. I can't get them to bite. I marked a lot of fish, and it might be a late night bite. New school that comes in here that fishes Lake Wiley, them boys fish at night. They're third shifters. They catch some big old fish, but they might be fishing down south too. I don't know. Hopefully I can get up and do both of us get on the boat together and do a live feed on both channels. Them pretty good old boys. It's called New School, Nuskool. Check them out. Well, fellas, I've enjoyed this live feed. We've been on here about an hour. I've covered a few things. Just make you a little list and throw it to the side so the next time we come on here to the Patriot Tackle Talk, we might cover a few more things. Hopefully I'll have my steel and everything to make my anchor by then, and I'll show you my anchor setup that I've made and a few more things. But for now, let's say God bless America. God bless you and your families. And we'll see y'all on the water. Bye.